Welcome everyone back to the channel. So on today's special video we are going over a run that I did of can you beat Pokemon Red with only a Machop. No items are included, no exploits, no glitches, just raw pure power with this little fella right here. So a little bit of background to Machop. He doesn't have abilities inside of Gen 1, so those don't matter. He is only a fighting type. These are his base stats. So initially you're looking at 305. That's lower than starter Pokemon. HP and attack are mediocre at best. They're not real great. And then you have this abysmal thing right here. You are looking at very low speed special attack. We are weak to flying, weak to psychic. If you all recall, there is a psychic type gym. Also, your rival has an Alakazam. Let's see here. He has a base stat special of 35 in these first gen games. Experience yield of 88. And some of the things that we know. Loves to build its muscles. It trains in all styles of martial arts to become even stronger. Very powerful in spite of its small size. Its mastery of many types of martial arts makes it very tough. Just as a disclaimer, as of this time of recording this, I have finished the run. And I'm getting ready to start editing it. And oh boy, was it harder than what I thought it was going to be. So guys, sit back, grab some snacks, and hopefully you'll enjoy. Hello everybody. So this is the run of Machop only. This is actually Pokemon Blue. I said Red initially, but I switched out the starter of Bulbasaur. That way the rival had Charmander, which would evolve into something strong against us. Kind of put a small handicap there. On the right side you will see all of our movesets that we could possibly learn through level up. Right here we went ahead and fought Brock. And this was actually the first attempt. As you can tell, Machop is not going to be very good against him. Especially with Karate Chop only being normal type rather than fighting type in this. So I went and naturally beat up on the locals. And then, well, we was missing the Brock fight, but we beat up some guys inside of there, took a fossil, and we are here fighting Misty. So Misty was another one that gave me a little bit of issues because of Starmie, namely. And this was the first attempt. We should see coming up of how this wipes out. Misty was a little bit problematic for me, and I kind of figured she would be. This Starmie has a really high crit ratio. Even though I know low kick at this point in time, it really didn't help much. Because Starmie and Staryu don't really weigh a lot. So going back in, just making sure it wasn't a fluke. And I don't believe I had trained up at all at this point in time. As you can tell, this is not, of course, a Nuzlocke. This is an only run. So I can die multiple times, come back. I do lose money as a penalty. So, starting off with the low kick there. It failed. And then it was not a fluke just by chance. Misty did wipe me out. So, I don't remember of how many times I went back at her. I think I did it 3 times to make sure it wasn't just a bust. And then I decided to go up, fight our rival, and take on the Nugget Bridge. because obviously my levels are just too insufficient. So blue went easily there. Didn't expect much of a challenge. Go back a little later, and there goes Misty. At this point in time, one of the biggest problems I've had in this game is the factor that, well, it's not a factor right now, but I have a feeling that it is coming up. I made sure to keep in a clip recording of this incident because it's so problematic. Good thing is I saved right here. In Gen 1, you don't have access to the Everstone. The Everstone, for people that don't know, prevents your Pokemon from evolving. So, with a Machop only challenge, the only way to keep a Machop was to smash B. To keep it as a Machop while this. But if you're speeding forward, as you can see, I couldn't press B in time. So, what do? I reset the game. Back at the last save state. This was so problematic, I almost gave up. Because I accidentally kept speeding through, not realizing I leveled up, and evolving it, and having to reset back so far in progress. Which also made editing this kind of a pain. But then again, that's also my fault. I didn't really do much of a good method as far as recording this. Oh yeah, and let's not forget my clumsiness with the speed up button. I rely way too much on it, and I probably jump over way too many obstacles and cliffs. However, Dig that I got from that rocket was a major help for the Machop. I'm going to take out Bide for it, and on the SSN I grabbed Body Slam. Body Slam is a pivotal move for Machop. Helps him get rid of really strong opponents that kind of give a little bit supplement to Karate Chop's PP. I have another move I can use rather than just Karate Chop. Going and find Blue. His team pretty much wipes easily, but then again, it's to be expected. I'm really over leveled at this point. Want to see me get this on one try? Nope. Me neither. It wasn't going to happen. I can never seem to get this puzzle. It's really confusing of why they decided on this. Surge, with Dig as an additional move, Surge was really easy to deal with. Because ground type moves are of course super effective against his electric types. It's really the main reason for having them there. Although there is one more supplement for having them there, and you'll see that later on. If you don't already know. I went and ventured inside a dark cave for a while, got kind of lost, fought some Zubats. It's kind of crazy that they made an HM entirely to this cave. The only purpose of the HM is actually this one cave, and it's nuts. Then I went ahead and fought Erica. This is kind of where Dig comes in, because even though it's a grass-type gym, almost all of her 2 out of 3 of her Pokemon are poison type, which is also Koga's typing and the typing of Team Rocket, for the most part. Meaning, it's a pivotal move in this game. It can take on rock types, electric types, it can take on poison types, fire types. It is about the most pivotal typing of this game, and I didn't realize it till I was older of how effective it was. Also, Bioplume Sprite, weirdly disproportionate. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. For the most part, a Machop run was really kind of sweeping through the game. It didn't really seem like there was a whole lot that could stand up to a Machop. Because Karate Chop, Body Slam, Dig, and Low Kick really handle most of your problems. The biggest issue is those rare, hard-hitting special type attackers, such as Alakazam. Alakazam was about a pain in the rear in this challenge. Find a shady guy in a suit. If there's one thing I hate in this place, it's suits, Alakazams, and random weird ride-on statues, which really made no sense in putting like 80 million of them outside the Victory Road, like right outside the Indigo Plateau. I don't know why they're all there. I don't know if that's fallen challengers or if that's champions. You let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think those statues outside of Victory Road with all those ride-ons are the challengers that failed and like that's where their careers ended? Or is that the champions? I seem it kind of unlikely that's champions based on the factor that Lance is as strong as he is. Fought a ghost here. This Marowak was honestly tougher than what's ahead. Because if I recollect, I'm gonna sweep through these next ones. And look, more guys in suits. We know that Machop hates suits at this point. I kind of sweep through these three really fast and go and talk to the old man that they're holding hostage. He apparently has some kind of flute that I need. And then onwards to this place, Sylph Company, which has more guys in suits. What do you know? This place kind of confused me, and honestly, I probably spent more time in here than anywhere else as a kid. After a while, I decided to go and wake up a Snorlax. I chose the one over here because it would link me down through the cycling road. Few less trainer encounters because I really am kind of overpowered at this point. And I fought Koga. Koga's gym was kind of weird. It had psychic types in here too. I will never understand that. Why there was a bunch of psychic types in here also. But basically, for the longest time I swore to God these guys were weak against fire, but turns out ground is really what you need. Ground type moves such as Dig, Earthquake, they are colossal against these guys. Muck just seems like he used to take forever to get rid of. And same with Wheezing. I don't recollect if I left this in here. I had messed up on a part. And he used self-destruct. Now here, it said I won because I had other Pokemon in my party. But that would have been too cheap of a move. So instead, I went back and I refought him. And in this, I was not going to accept victory until I knew that I had won it fair and square and Machop was still alive. Because otherwise, you're really relying on the Pokemon in the back of the party. And that just ain't right if you're doing a Machop only run to win by a technicality with another Pokemon. Got the Soul Badge. Prevented him from leveling up again. This was the hardest part, was remembering not to let him evolve. Spent like $4 grand inside the Safari Zone. Spent entirely too much money up here. Got the HM. Ran out the timer. And went and fought my rival in Silphco. Now, this was problematic. Because down here was, I believe this clip was supposed to go in front of the other one. I'm sorry about that. I think I kind of goofed up the clip order. But I failed against my rival. And that's whenever I decided to go and start beating up on other people's Pokemon. And luckily enough, I have a whole building full of these guys. This gym and 2 side routes. The cycling road and the gym linking Lavender Town to Fuchsia. Which is going to give me just enough, I believe. At this point, I went back and fought the rival. Also, I took this Hitmonchan to learn Strength. And at level 50, it finally became a reality. Well, kinda. I had a restart, but at 50 I lost, and then at 59, it finally got through. Really over-leveled, but those Alakazams, I just couldn't outspeed them because I did the math, and their speed was 116. I was almost never going to make it to 116 speed with Machop. So I had to get strong enough to rely on a hit or just RNG luck my way through it. Went, fought another guy in a soup to get to the boss of Team Rocket again, who is holding this man hostage for a Pokeball, ranting something about a Pokemon inside that he needs it, I guess Pokemon in a cave, yada yada. Not really concerning to me too much. I'm just worried about getting through the Elite Four of my Machop. And I'm going to let him go, and then I'm going to run. Finally, it came time for Sabrina. And body slamming my way through her team, it really stood no chance. Once again, stopping the evolution. This was the pain of Gen 1, was not having an Everstone. In future challenges and other generations, I'm absolutely putting an Everstone on them. I traveled through this extremely long, burned Pokemon Mansion lab, whatever it was, talking something about a legendary Pokemon being created. I don't care. Anyways, over here, we fought Blaine. Once again, no problem. Pretty easy to resolve. And then onwards to fighting, yet again, the big man in the suit, Giovanni. Giovanni was pretty much a pushover for the most part. Again, whenever you have quite a few poison types and you have Dig, it really becomes elementary. Going onwards to fight my rival. And if I'm not mistaken, this is where I ran into some more issues. Because I believe I went into this all sorts of wrong and I lost somewhere. It wasn't against him here. It was further up, I believe. Going through here, I will take the time just to say that this challenge took extremely long up till this point. Bar-wise, I mean, for you all, it's like 20 minutes in right now. It took me so long just grinding to where I could get to fight those Alakazams and get past them. Doing this mono-type, like, mono Pokemon challenge thing, I don't really get why people do them. Me, myself, I'm doing it basically to see of what kind of lands, what doesn't. And I don't know. They have their intrigue, but they are so tedious with the grinding. Because you'll steamroll up till a certain point, and then you'll just fail. And finally, we hit the Elite Four. The Elite Four took a while also. And you'll see why. This is my first attempt going into the Elite Four. Using some karate chops on Dugong. Trying to figure out... I couldn't quite remember if ground was super effective against ice. Trying to see if what does really good against them, what doesn't. Because, like, certain things seem like they should have worked, like low kick on the slow blow. Slow blow is kind of a heavier fella. Kinda. If I'm not mistaken, his weight's over 100 pounds. It should have done some damage. But, nonetheless, we won and we carry on. This first run was through the Elite Four was really non-optimal. And I made a lot of slip-ups that I will correct in the future runs against the Elite Four. I really became really in tone to what worked on which mon and when. Right here, obviously, I knew the dig with the Onyx was going to do good. Later on, the low kick seemed just the better preference. Honestly, low kicking this whole team was kind of just the go. Stop the evolution. And onwards to the next one. Agatha. Agatha was kind of a weird one for me growing up. Because I never actually caught on that she basically is just a poison type user. She's labeled as a ghost type user, but really the poison type is what she mainly is. In which case, Dig works on everything except for the Skull Bat. Especially these Gengars. I used to have so much difficulty with Gengars till I got older and realized it's just a poison type team. Just use a ground type move, it'll work. And right here, I just sped forward. I forgot to heal, actually, going into this one. So I'm in here with a Machop with about half strength. And somehow it honestly pulls through. I'm still kind of dumbfounded by it myself. I ran through my body slams, which proved to be a vital thing. Not that I could have passed anyways, because... Well, as anyone that may have watched anyone else's challenge videos of Machop probably figured out by now, because I've looked at a couple others after I did this. There was just... I wasn't going to win at 73. I think the best I seen was Madry Bread doing it at 79. But Madry Bread is also a much better Pokemon player than me, so I digress. I just am going about this my own method. Also, I will note that he had a better moveset because he actually took time to go find Earthquake, and he also taught his Seismic Toss, which I didn't think Seismic Toss would have a huge impact throughout all this, but I was probably wrong. Going and using the rare candy just because, you know, it's the end, or at least I thought it was the end. I didn't take into account that gigantic level gap that Blue gained, especially with the Alakazam. And here we go. So as y'all can guess, from the way I'm talking, this did not go through. Because as I said, my dry bread ended at 79, and I'm nowhere close. Trying to take out the Pidgeot, it sets up for a Sky Attack, and it takes me out. So at this point, I'm like, okay, so I can't even get past the Pidgeot, I need to level up. Going back in, Using a body slam, almost takes out the Pidgeot. Finally getting past it, I get to the Alakazam. The Alakazam is level 59. Psychic hits, it's out. There's no... Well, almost out at that point. There was no way I was just going to tank that. I believe this one got really close. And I believe I wiped on the Charizard here. I believe it was a Fire Blast and took me out. Going back in, this was like I grinded heavily against the Elite Four, so this is like the 60th, this is like the 20th attempt. No, that's exaggeration, not 20, but you get the idea. Going in, I really thought this was going to wipe again because you see how low that health bar is getting. I expected Charizard to end it here. I body slam. It gets the para, which will make it slower, and he misses the fire spin, opening up for the winning body slam. And after all that, finally at level 90, we finish this. I was going to let Machop evolve. I was like, you know what? He's deserved it. I've caused this man physical pain, stopped him from evolving so much, but I was like, wait a minute. If I do that, it registers my win as a Machop. And I feel like everything that he's went through, he deserves to have it registered down as being a Machop. So, speed up button was played heavily in this run. I won't lie. I sped up through a lot of this. Through almost all of it, as you can tell. And guys, if y'all like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. I realize it was probably poorly edited. But overall, I kind of curious whether or not to make more of these. And I would gladly do so. Just let me know what y'all think, what Pokemon that you'd like me to see run with, and I'll give it my best go. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.